Join us as we sail from Texas to the Caribbean. 3 summers, 3 legs, and the biggest adventure of our lives. Previously on Don Treader. Okay, so we are leaving Panama City. See that behind me maybe? We have between 6 and 8 knots. So we're going between 2.5 to 3.5 knots under sail. But we are finally under sail. For a guy who sailed in mostly brown, muddy water for years, that's a beautiful sight. We got hit by that bad boy. I think it's blowing by us. We'll try to go around the back side of it and catch the breeze, but that was a big one. We saw gusts of about 40. Okay, this is sunset of day 1. Are you tired? Are you exhausted? Yeah. Hang in there, you guys are doing great. Today we continue our 225-mile run from Panama City to St. Petersburg. We're almost halfway into it at this point and see all kinds of weather from beautiful clear skies to violent squalls. We're sailing again. We've got about between 11 and 15 knots, somewhere in there, and we're going a little more south than we need to, but I just wanted to conserve fuel, and we're still going where we need to go. I just realized I looked at the chart and I was sailing right up to a firing range for the military. And so I changed course, and then about 5 minutes ago, while Quinn and I were raising the sail, we were buzzed by an F-16. So they didn't say anything, didn't call us, and they haven't started shooting at us yet, so I'm taking that as a good sign. So anyway, we're continuing on, and trying to stay out of the way of very big guns. It's a beautiful day. Most of the rain, it looks like, is north of us. So hopefully we'll keep clear skies. We should be in to St. Petersburg sometime mid-morning, I would say. I think the boys are looking forward to that. They're tired. This is the first real overnight offshore, and we've had a couple of squalls, and it's been challenging sailing. They've done great, but they're exhausted, so they need some downtime. So we'll hang out in St. Petersburg for a few days, and then decide what to do from there. Really, our only kind of drop dead is toward the end of the month, 1st of next month. I need to have the boat at Port Charlotte to put it on the hard there. So apart from that, we can just kind of do what we want. So the boys are down asleep, and we'll try to get them out later. beautiful sunset behind us. And if we turn 180 degrees, a beautiful moonrise in front of us. That is incredible. Man, it's cool being out here.
A gorgeous full moon set in over Don Treader. The peace and vastness of the ocean, especially at night, is hard to put into words. All I can say is that I love it completely.
Geek Zone.
Fire in the hole!
So I wanted to address, some of this stuff that you read in the forums from some of these chuckleheads that, talk about how, hunters will pound your teeth out, or that they'll flex so much you can't type on a keyboard, or throw the cushions around the boat and people go flying because they're so poorly built, blah blah blah. Well, let me first address the flex. So we've been sailing now for the past, I don't know, two and a half days. And as you can see in the video prior, in kind of that, notorious Gulf of Mexico, 6 to 8 foot, really steep waves, 2-second period, just chop. And we've been beating into it the entire time. So, there's some creaking going on down below, but I haven't seen any flex in any of these seas. She's very solid, and all the doors open and close, and I just haven't seen anything like some of these chuckleheads say in the forum. And then the other thing you hear a lot is about the pounding kind of these production boats. And, that too is just baloney.
That's putting it nicely. Here, let me show you what I mean with 3 different boats that I've sailed hundreds of offshore miles on in all kinds of conditions. Let's start with the quintessential blue water boat, the Pacific Sea Craft Creelock 37. Now this is a boat I did, I think, over 600 miles of offshore racing and deliveries on. And then after that racing, the boat took off on a circumnavigation that it completed and did great. Now, as for value, there are a couple of these Pacific Sea Craft Creelock 37s listed on Yacht World for somewhere in the 100,000 plus range, for a boat that is just about as old as mine. Again, I have an 89, and many of these boats are late 80 models as well. So the question is this boat worth double what I paid for my Hunter for roughly the same year model? Although we never really hit truly heavy weather in this Pacific Sea Craft while I was sailing with it offshore. There's no question it's a really solid, capable boat. Absolutely. In the maybe 2-meter choppy seas that we did face during our race, it was a smooth, solid ride. But, you know, for my taste, it was pretty cramped down below. It creaked a lot. You know, doors creaked, bulkheads creaked when we were in bigger seas. And it had kind of that, you know, old world Lawrence Welk feel below. So to me, no, you know, I was not completely blown away. I mean, it's a good boat, but it wasn't for me. I just figured I could do better. Now, the next boat was also a very well-regarded blue water boat, a Pearson 365 Catch. Now, in this Pearson, I did over, I don't know, 800 miles plus of offshore racing and delivery in this boat in all kinds of conditions, from becalmed to, you know, full gale conditions. Now, in terms of value, a few of these on Yacht World you can find for in the 40,000 plus range. But these are for boats that are late 70s, early 80s. So the question is it worth the same amount of money, but for a much older boat? So as I said earlier, we definitely hit some pretty heavy weather in this boat. And though it was absolutely solid, it pounded. I mean, there's no question. Look at this. Of course, if people are honest, any boat is going to pound in seas like this. So this old Pearson creaked and groaned, and I'm sure she flexed, or oil canned, or whatever you want to call it, even with that old Pearson heavy-duty tank layup. I mean, at the end of the day, it's fiberglass. And like the Pacific Seacraft, I thought the Pearson was pretty cramped down below. Overall, I just thought I could do better. And so finally, there's our vaunted Dawn Treader, this 1989 Hunter Legend 40. She had a purchase price of $42,000, as I've documented on our blog. And we put, you know, a fair amount of money into upgrading her, you know, new standing rigging and lots of solar and lots of stuff that we added to the boat. But she came fully loaded with generator, air conditioner, pressure water system, really roomy, comfy layout below. Just everything that I possibly could have wanted in a boat. And we've also been in conditions in Dawn Treader that rival most of what we saw in some of the previous videos.
Hang out a little bit of a wave. So a little bit more sailing to do. Woo, there's a wave. There's water over the bow. Nav light's still on, so that's good. Okay, this is the V-berth while we're underway. And we're still in the same really choppy seas I showed you a second ago. Yeah, it's a nice ride. Quiet. There we go, we just bounced off a wave. Here comes another one. You could hear that one. Let's see if we get any water. Nope, just bouncing around.
So yeah, we've seen some tough conditions with this boat, and she is super solid. There's just no question about it. So, you know, do I listen to the chuckleheads and buy a boat that's 10 years older just because it's laid up more thickly? Or do I spend over twice as much for a boat that's recognized as blue water, although I don't see much of a difference having sailed all of these boats for hundreds of miles offshore. No, I buy the boat that I think is going to fit us the best. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you really have to decide when you're buying a boat how much you want to pay the chuckleheads for their advice. As for me, I'd rather pay a monkey to dance the Macarena.
So, as far as this 1989 Hunter Legend 40 goes, she's the bomb, and that's just the way it is. I know I sail her.
5 smacks for you.
Fire in the hole! You know, we would have had a hard time getting lost on this particular leg. I'll grant you that. But it still never ceases to amaze me how, you know, with a good chart plotter like my incredible iPad with the iNavX that has been flawless. But, you know, with chart plotters, you point your boat, you follow your waypoints, you have really no point of reference, and within a few days your destination appears on the horizon. That's a miracle to me. That is really awesome and amazing to me that it is, you know, really that easy. Now, you know, I know traditionalists don't like it to be that easy, and that's okay. You make it hard on yourself. I'll fully support you in that. But yeah, it's incredible what technology has done for us. You know, that allows goofballs like me to, you know, completely take my life into my own hands and point my boat somewhere and actually get there. So pretty incredible. Spot tracker has been great, but I really can't say enough for this iPad setup with iNavX and hooked into the instruments with the Brookhouse iMux. It's all been a great system with AIS, and which I've used a couple of times, and the alarm has gone off a couple of times. So just a great system. I'd recommend it to anybody. I'm gonna probably look at getting the new, I think it's called iRadar or something like that, from Furuno that just came out. First Look, I think is what it's called. So I'm gonna look into getting that and integrating into this system. As far as kind of breakages and things on this trip, we've had quite a few issues. This is really the first time we've done a serious offshore shakedown with Dawn Treader. I've got to come up with a better solution for the nav light, the bow light mount. Little things like some electrical issues. The ignition is having a little bit of an electrical issue. Have to look that over and see what we can figure out. The fridge just started showing looks like a weak connection for the power. It was going on and off, so I turned off the fridge. So it's a lot of little things like that. I think just the movement. You know, we've been in a lot of chop, moving around a lot the past few days. But you know, overall, she's performed very, very well. Under sail, you know, we were getting over 6 knots in maybe 13, 14 knots of breeze. Even though she's, you know, loaded down like a freaking pig, she's still sailing well. So we're about, looks like 15, 18 miles outside of St. Petersburg. We're going to look at going into the Pass-a-Grille cut. Weather's good, so shouldn't have much of a problem. Hopefully we'll be in the marina here in a few hours, and I think all of us are going to get some sleep. So fun trip, really fun trip. It's work, it's tiring. The boys are exhausted, you know, and it's not the afternoon sail kind of thing. I mean, you're out here kind of working, avoiding thunderstorms, and but it's fun work. It really is. We love it. So great trip so far. It would leave you behind for sure.
No solo sailing for me.
Yeah, I'm not interested in solo sailing. All right, here's St. Petersburg. Yay! Quinn's trying to wake up. Say hello, Quinn.
Hello.
Jesse has been up for quite a while now, helping me drive while we change the fuel filter. First time we've done that at sea.
Yep.
Kind of rocked it, I must say.
And Pepper just woke up.
Oh yeah, there's little Pippa. Hey, little Pippa. There she is.
Our sweet dog Pepper is an absolute trooper. Up to this point, we had trained Pepper to do her business on a mat that we put on the foredeck. So every night when we'd be at a marina or anchored, she would go do her business there and we'd take care of it. This was her first time on a multi-day run offshore. And so obviously offshore, we couldn't let her go up to the foredeck in the seas that we were in.
Okay, we need to keep...
Pepper in the cockpit.
Yeah.
So we put the mat in the floor of the cockpit and kept trying to get her to go there. But she wouldn't do it. So I was getting a little concerned about our little Pepper, afraid she would start swelling up into something hideous. But she wouldn't go. So we'd been on the water now for 2.5 days. And as we neared shore, Pepper started standing up and smelling the air desperately. And then our poor little dog, she just couldn't contain herself anymore and turned our cockpit into Armageddon. I never knew that a tiny little dog like that could hold that much sewage. So she just couldn't wait. She couldn't get there, but she had been such a beast. You know, holding that in. I can't imagine how miserable that must have been. So anyway, we definitely learned a lesson on training Pepper for future offshore runs, and we're going to work on that. But our dog, she's pretty awesome.
Lift it up and show it to everybody back home. He's been on there since this morning. Yeah. But yeah, you see his little wings. Isn't that crazy?
It's a flying fish.
That's what they look like.
Like it's stuck. Like catfish do.
No, they're...
I remember it. Don't eat it.
Okay, that's weird. Okay, just about to enter Pass-a-Grille channel here. Waterway guide had it marked that there's some shoaling up near one of these cans. One of these markers. We're gonna be staying at Pass-a-Grille Marina, so we'll go from there. So we're in the channel here coming up, and Waterway guide had reported some shoaling right around 7 and 7A. I don't know if it shows up on video, but you can see where the watercolor changes to pretty light over by those green markers. So we're just staying over here to starboard, kind of hugging more the red side, and try to get around this and then into the marina. But looks pretty accurate, so good job, Waterway Guide.
We called the Paso Grill Marina and got very poor direction from the person on the other end. I asked him if someone could be at the dock to take our lines, and he said, "We'd try." We'd try. Yeah. When we got close to the slip he told us to go to, it certainly didn't seem to exist. It turned out that it wasn't a slip at all, but simply a space between pylons. Now, the current was ripping as I maneuvered into the tight space and laid the starboard rail against one of the pylons, with Quinn securing a spring line. But the pylons were spaced such that we couldn't easily secure the other lines. So with the current, we started pinwheeling to port toward the boat beside us. Jesse hopped over with the boat hook to fend us off, and we were now trapped, with me at the helm using the engine to keep us centered, Quinn at the pylon with the spring line, and Jesse fending us off the other boat. I called the dude again and told him we needed help. Finally, he came out and gave us a hand, but we were several feet from any finger, leaving us no way off the boat. I asked him about this, and he said, "You'll be all right." No, we will not be all right. So against his direction, I slid our stern back to line up with the finger. He didn't like that, and I didn't care. We tied off and shut down. Not a great experience at Paso Grill in the first 10 minutes. Well, at least they were proud of their political affiliations. I have an idea. How about focusing on making your customer experience great again?
Rumbled it that way.
I didn't understand a word you said.
I know, I was scared now.
Look, my arm's a selfie stick.
No, a selfie stick is like...
This is us walking to the beach at sunset. What did you just do?
Threw his hat over the hole.
Get him!
I'm scared.
Get him!
No!
Oh my goodness, that's pretty. Oh my goodness.
Wow! Great!
Wow. This is pretty heavenly. How is it?
You want to see my water bending skills?
No splashing.
Oh,
I already said that's flashing.
oh, that's alright, sorry.
You can wrestle and throw each other down.
Hey
Hi,
everyone! Just wanted to give you a quick message to all of our patrons.
What are our patrons?
They're the very generous people that give us money for our videos.
Okay.
Yeah, so
People give us money for these?
yeah, they
Dad,
donate
that's crazy. Why would people give us money for
Guys,
these?
because they're generous people.
Dad,
They-
that's crazy.
Yes, okay, fine. Just okay. Okay, so as I was saying, I just wanted to thank all of the patrons for being very generous and giving us money for the videos, which is a little crazy, but hey, you know, thank you. So I want to also let you know that only on our patron page we will be providing, you know, behind the scenes videos of, you know, what we think about what we're heading into and just kind of the mindset of being out there cruising. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Just a little bit of an extra for all of our patrons. Thank you very much for your support, and look forward to seeing you the next episode. I will now untie my children.
Hit the like and the subscribe button. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button.
Smash that like button in the face.
Yeah, I'll make that next video if we get 10,000 likes.